She was watching TV when it happened, a warm cup of tea beside her, the flicker of the screen lighting up her quiet apartment. And then nothing for 42 years. Her body remained in that same chair, her TV still facing her. No one asked where she was, not a friend, not a neighbor, not even the police. This isn't fiction. This happened in the heart of Zagreb, Croatia. A woman vanished from the world and nobody even noticed. What you're about to hear is one of the loneliest tragedies you'll ever come across. Asterisk in the center of Zagreb, Croatia, an apartment stood still in time, dust-covered windows, a door that hadn't been opened in decades. From the outside, it looked like just another old, abandoned flat. But inside, a heartbreaking secret had waited in silence for 42 long years. Her name was Hedviga Golik. She once lived here. She once laughed, spoke, and had dreams like anyone else. But after 1966, she disappeared. No missing persons report. No family searching, no news headlines, just silence. Authorities only discovered her in 2008. They were preparing to reassign a long vacant apartment, a routine task. A flat no one had entered in decades. Most believed it had been empty all this time, but when the officials forced the door open, what they saw stopped them in their tracks. There, seated in a wooden chair, facing a black and white television set from the 60s, was Hedviga. Her body was still there, her skeleton wrapped in dried clothes. Mummified by time and isolation, she hadn't collapsed on the floor. She hadn't been hidden or buried. She had simply passed, sitting in her chair quietly as if still watching the evening news. Beside her, a cold cup of tea still rested, untouched for over 4 decades. The room around her, frozen like a time capsule, plates still in the kitchen sink. Furniture, covered in a thick coat of dust. Curtains yellowed with age. Even the TV still faced her chair, as if it too had been waiting for her to move. How does someone vanish like this, without a single soul noticing? Hedviga had purchased the apartment back when Croatia was still part of the former Yugoslavia. She was quiet, independent, not many knew her well. And somehow, in the shuffle of time, she was forgotten. Neighbors assumed she'd moved away. Number 1 knocked to check. No one ever asked where she went. There were no family members close enough to care. No friends close enough to worry. In a world filled with connection, she had become invisible. And as the years passed, her apartment became just another address on a government list. Until finally, in 2008, city officials decided to open it. The discovery shocked the nation. It sparked headlines around the world. How could no one notice? How can a person vanish for 42 years and no one care? The most haunting part was not just her death, but the life she must have lived before it, alone, isolated, and eventually erased from memory. We often hear about people going missing, about mysteries left unsolved. But this wasn't a mystery. In the traditional sense, it was something more tragic. It was a slow, unnoticed disappearance, not of the body, but of presence, of meaning. Hedviga didn't die in some remote wilderness. She died in her home, in the middle of a city, surrounded by neighbors, buildings, and busy streets. And yet, she vanished without a sound. Her story is a chilling reminder of something deeper. That loneliness can exist even in crowded places. That a life can fade, and no one may see it go. Authorities later confirmed she likely died in 1966, the same year she was last seen. The apartment had remained sealed since. There were no signs of forced entry, no signs of violence. Just a woman in her home who quietly slipped away from the world. After her body was found, no relatives came forward. No funeral was held publicly. She simply became a headline for a few days before the world moved on once again. Today, the apartment has likely been cleared. Perhaps someone else lives there now. The TV gone, the dust cleaned, the chair replaced, but the memory of that room, that frozen moment in time, remains unforgettable. Hedviga Golik's story isn't just about death. It's about what it means to be seen, to be remembered, to be misthought, because in the end, the most heartbreaking tragedies are not the loudest ones. Sometimes they're the ones no one even hears.